Hi everyone in American Lit, this is Dr. E and I'm here with your week 1 instructional video. So every week I try to provide you with an instructional video and also a supplemental video that kind of covers the readings and the ideas that we touched upon the previous week. So in this week's instructional video, it's really just kind of walking us through where to go and what to do. If you haven't already, make sure that you pause and watch the D2L video as well as the one that goes over the syllabus. Recall that there are quiz questions that usually come from video, so just something to keep in mind. Before I walk through what to do, where to go, all of that, I want to let you know that when you view the schedule, even for this week, but for any subsequent weeks, if you look at the syllabus and you're feeling overwhelmed by what you see, it's understandable. It's the first week in a summer session and things move so quickly. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's very intense, a summer session, right? So the work is fast-paced, the expectations are high, but if you look at this schedule and you feel, even though you know that things are fast-paced, if you still feel like this is too much for you, especially based on your home life, your work life, all the other responsibilities you're dealing with, just know that you need to make the decision that's going to be best for you, okay? Because I know things can be really, really overwhelming just generally, but especially during a summer session. All right, so to start us off, I'm in our class area, right? And every week we're just going to start in the content area. Remember that on the left-hand side, we have what are called modules, just different areas in this content space. So the book information is right here. And just a reminder, you need to get the book, right? So you have options of purchasing the book through our bookstore, as well as purchasing through the publisher's website. Through the online bookstore, there should be options not only for the print version, but the online version. That has changed, that has gone back and forth. So if you would prefer the electronic version, go to the Norton website, which is linked here, and purchase that. That's instantly giving you access to the course text because we have reading this week because it's a summer session, right? If you're waiting on the book from our bookstore to be mailed to you, you're cutting it kind of close, right? That's why I send emails and made sure that the information was updated last week, right? And even previous to that, I was sending emails. So hopefully you're getting access to the book, but if not, buy the electronic version through the publisher's website, okay? There's also all of the syllabus and materials that I'll just kind of keep adding to. There's also D2L help, so if you have questions about things in D2L, if you have some issues with life, all of the resources are here. And then we get to week 1, and this should look familiar. This is just a chart that's copied and pasted from our syllabus, right? So on Monday, it's kind of, this is what the week looks like, and then the schedule, for due dates are listed below. So on Thursday, we have not only a discussion post, but an email assignment, okay? So if you scroll down, you'll see the videos, but this is the discussion post, right? So you can either click on it directly here, or you can go up to the collaboration area and select discussions from the drop-down menu. I want to go this way because I want you to see that there's this Q&A area. So if you have any questions or concerns about assignments or things in the class, you are free to post here. It is anonymous, so don't feel worried about, there's no judgment anyway, but don't feel worried about having your name associated with the question. You can of course always email me, but if you have that question, other folks might have it as well. So posting here can be really helpful. This is where you'll also see our weekly discussion. So if you click on week 1, it walks through the different steps of how to post in the discussion area, and then our prompt is below. So it will note that you want to click Start New Thread. Okay, when you click Start New Thread, you should then see this option. For the subject line, please enter your name here. It just makes it easier for folks who are responding to you as well as me when it comes to grading. So click your name here, and then you can type your response to these questions, okay? For this week, the formatting doesn't really matter. You don't have to put spaces between. You don't have to number them. Just make sure you're answering all the questions. A note to the wise, I would use the numbers because in the past people have just been trying to answer, they skip a question, right? You don't want to miss out on the first assignment, right? So once you click that, make sure you click post, and I would go back and double check that you can see yours, okay? You can also view mine. I've posted something here just to use as an example. So this is what mine looks like. Yours doesn't have to look like this. You do need to post a picture, so there are instructions for how to do this. So just make sure you're following through with those. Okay, so that's the discussion that's due on Thursday. Remember, Thursdays and Sundays are our due dates. There's also an email assignment here. So if you watched the email or the video where I walked through D2L, I showed you where to go and what to do to compose an email. So what you need to do by the due date and time is send an email to me. Remember, when you're in our course area, the subject line will be auto-populated. It will already be complete with our course information. What I want you to do is, before our course details, I want you to put the words test email. It just helps me organize, you know, all the emails. I put things into folders. I have a tendency to just be kind of overwhelmed by information. So the more I can organize, the better off I am. The better off your grades will be. So just put test email. In the body of the email, just put Dear Dr. E, hey Dr. E, what's up Dr. E. I'm really informal when it comes to that. I want a greeting. Don't just go right into a conversation. Let's practice how to professionally or at least politely send an email. So, hey Dr. E, some profs aren't going to like that, but who cares? I don't care. Just, hey, Dr. E. And then in the body, you know, just say, this is my test email. You don't have to say any more than that. That's okay. Then your closing, say, hey, sincerely, or take care. I always put take care because I do hope that you take care. And then I want you to put the name that you prefer. Okay, so this is also something you should share in the discussion area for this week, but I want you to use the name that you prefer, right? The name you want me to use when I address you in the course, okay? So sign off using that name. So that is also due on Thursday. On Sunday, we do have a reading response that's due, and it's not in the discussion board, it's in the assignment area. So if you scroll down, we have the discussion, and then, oh goodness, let me pause. I'm not seeing it here. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go back and make sure everything was visible. So if you scroll down, you'll see week 1 reading response. This is in the assignments area, and it's meant to be something that you upload as a document. So half of the class is essentially going to be doing, half of the class that we're taking is the discussion boards, right? And then the other half of just kind of some of the weekly work is going to be these reading responses, right? And if you want more details about the reading response, there is a handout, and that's in the syllabus and other materials module, or on the left-hand side of the content area. I'll have a video that kind of goes through that next week. I don't want to overwhelm you with videos this week, but take a look at that handout just to see what the expectations are. This one is a little bit more straightforward than some might be in the future, but looking at the expectations is definitely going to help. So you can either click here and it will take you directly to the assignment, right? And it has instructions here. There are the guidelines that I've actually shared here, as well as a template. Please use the template. Okay, and so what you will do is click upload, okay? You'll click upload, it will open, you know, so make sure you're saving your document somewhere. And then you just click on your document, click open, and you'll see the document loading right here, okay? So not only this, but you can actually click on it and it will then open the document for you. It's a PowerPoint, so it's not opening right now. But you can double check. A lot of times students will submit the wrong assignment accidentally, or they'll submit a blank template, right? So please don't do that. Make sure that you're naming the file something memorable and that you're uploading it as a Word file, right? So make sure that it is a .doc, a .docx. Oh, now the PowerPoint's opening. So make sure that it's saved in either PDF or Word format. This is especially important for those of you who are working with Macs. With a Mac, don't save your work as a Pages document because the D2L program cannot open it, therefore I can't grade it, right? So if you do have Pages, if you're working with a Mac or any other program, in order to save it as a PDF or as a Word file, make sure you're going to the D2L help module that's in the content area, and there are instructions about how you can save and format that properly. I'm going to keep encouraging you to just download the free version of Microsoft Office Suite. 365. It's free through the school, and it gives you the full versions of Microsoft Word, of PowerPoint, of Excel. It's just helpful and handy to have those on your device. It will make it easier to upload your documents directly from your device rather than having to download it from Google Docs, then upload it from your device. Just take advantage of the free software. So they have the version for a PC, and they also have a version for Macs, which is what I use. Okay, so when it comes down to it, you have your information loaded here. It will be in the right format, not in PowerPoint. And then you can click submit. When you click submit, D2L, one nice thing about it can be the worst sometimes, but one nice thing about it is that it will send you a confirmation email when you've submitted something, okay? So I'm going to go back to the content area just because I want to show you that you can also get to the assignment folder or the assignment area up here with course activities. If you click assignment, it is right there, so it looks just a little different. It shows it's not submitted. And here are the details just in a different way, but it's the same thing. You're going to go to your computer, so make sure you're saving it somewhere that you can upload pretty easily, and don't forget to click submit. You again will receive that confirmation email. All right, so we've worked through the reading response, right? Make sure you're looking at those guidelines. You need to respond to 2 colleagues in the discussion post area, so you just need to reply to their thread. Make sure you're clicking reply in the correct way. So as an example, don't click start a new thread to reply if you're, say, replying to me, which you do not have to do. You're just going to click reply thread, and this is where you type your response and click post. Okay, and these are all things that you can double check to make sure that you've submitted the work properly. Okay, so we have the responses, and then you have your weekly quiz, right? So if you scroll down, this will take you to the quiz, and then you can click start. It's not timed, so you can take your time, but please note that there are questions from all of the videos for this week, from our syllabus, from the reading as well, right? So you need to get your hands on the book because we're reading the introductory paragraph to the very first volume. So there are questions from that, okay? Once you click start, you go through, you answer the questions, and it will, take you through all of them and you'll complete them. One last thing I want to touch on is that I have a checklist here. I'm not going to do this every week, but it's something that just may be helpful because, it's a lot of information and we're moving quickly. So this is just a chance for you to kind of check things off as you get them done and to see that you've done those things, okay? So it goes through all the assignments and things. It tells you about the reading response. It has you double check. This is certainly not a requirement. It's just something that I'm recommending so you can make sure that you're doing everything you need to do, because again, it's a packed week. We're just going to move so quickly from the start. Okay, I want to note before I forget that this right here showing, percentage complete and the check marks here, that does not mean that the work is complete. It just essentially means that you've looked at that information. Okay, so it just means that you've taken a glance. It's not completed. That's why I put this separate checklist here at the bottom so that you can actually physically go in and check those things off as you've completed them. Okay, it's on you. One last thing I want to mention is that this isn't a writing class, but the assumption is that you've taken English 1301 and 1302 or some sort of equivalent. But it's based on writing in a lot of ways. We're not in a physical classroom having conversations with one another. You're submitting written work. Please make sure that you're revising and editing. I encourage all students, just start composing not only your reading responses, but your discussion posts. Compose those in Microsoft Word so you can use the spell check and the grammar check features. And not only that, you can save your work so that you are sure not to lose it or misplace it or whatever the case may be. I also want you to note that, use Grammarly, use any of these kinds of things that can be tools and resources to help with your writing, okay? One last thing is that I have the course set up to send inactivity emails. So if you have not logged into our course within or for 5 days straight, you're going to receive an email from D2L that just emphasizes, this is a lot of work, and if you haven't logged in for 5 days, you've likely missed some work. And you'll be dropped if you don't submit consecutive assignments. So we want to avoid that if that's not something you want. But drops are, I just assume that things are going on that are out of your control, and that a drop is just something that you may need. But you'll receive those inactivity emails if you haven't logged in. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, good luck this week.